Hello everyone, welcome back to Corley Farm Sheep. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, that would be marvellous. Today we're going to talk about lambing, how we do it and how we've progressed over the years. So I quite look forward to showing you. We've got footage from approximately 2 or 3 years ago when we had a student here as well. We were still learning, we still are learning, every day is a learning day. Hope you enjoy. It's worth noting that you're about to watch what we do for lambing, and we're recording and really doing way too much. In fact, I'd go as far as to say it's nuts, because as Mark, our shepherd, would tell you, the whole shedding mantra, low cost, low input mentality is
don't touch it, leave it alone, keep well away.
But we're doing it because we really are trying to hone in our genetics and record as much data as possible, because data will give us the info to do more. Let's go on the hunt for some lambs with Mark the shepherd. We've got Tucker and Millie in tow. So a quick run through of how we used to do it in 2022. Tucker and Mark still run as much as they ever used to. However, there's a lot more calm after. The lambs no longer in a cage, they're much more just held on to. We had Millie here, she was great, she helped out, but we don't really need a student, so we rarely get students now, which is a shame. The tagger here, there's a little mistake with the old tagger. He's put it a bit too deep on the ear, so as the lamb grows it can catch, which is not great. We've learnt that, not to do that. Identifying the ewe is quite easy, and we still do the same with the ear tags, 365 here. She would then have been entered into iLivestock on the iPad, and as they're doing that, Tucker would continue to tag, mark them so he knew which ones had been done, as well as telling Mark what sex the lamb is, or Mark would have a look, and then finally there would be the weights that we would weigh individually that would go against them all.
A few lambs later.
What are the main differences in our lambing? What have we changed since we first started? So it does depend a bit on the weather, but as you can see, we have simplified things a little bit. With the weights are now taken by eye mainly, rather than weighing every single lamb. We'll weigh a sample on the day, or at the beginning of the season, middle of the season, and just get a better idea of what we think they weigh. Another thing that's changed is that if ground conditions like this one does permit, we won't use the mule because it's very, very noisy. We're finding it was scaring the sheep far too much. The truck is a lot quieter, so they'll just tend to go around in the truck, just Tucker and Mark on their own in the truck quietly. It seems to go quite well in the dry year. In a wet year, it's a bit trickier. If it's absolutely wet, the mule will be used as a last resort, but otherwise the quad and a trailer is even better than the mule because of the noise. In terms of the grazing, it keeps changing a bit. As I said, we do drift. We have drifted a lot more. Mark this year, as he said, is not drifting as much as he used to, just because he's wanting them to bond better. He's finding that the drifting can be quite disruptive, and then you get a bit more mismothering if you're not careful. On the bonding thing as well, I think Mark now is trying to leave them 24 hours before touching them and tagging them, whereas previously we were doing it a lot younger, maybe even as soon as 12 hours just to get it done. But I think now, especially with the weather being better, there's more time to do everything. Whereas when it's wet, it just seems a lot harder and the guys struggle to get through it. So if there is an opportunity to leave them longer, we will. But depending on the year and how wet or dry it is, we will iodine and not iodine them. So this year Mark's not iodining the navels because it's nice and dry. I think on the wetter years sometimes he will. He's a bit worried about infection of joint heel. Same with the turbo tags. On a wetter year when everything's a bit more miserable and they're struggling, he might disinfect the ear tags as well, but I'm not sure, as you saw in that last clip, that he's doing that. Didn't think it's necessary, because the more stuff you add, it's the more smells you're adding to that to really confuse the mother, and you don't want to be really testing them in that regard. You just want them to let them get on with it best you can. But we're still finding that we do need to put on the spray or the marker, be it crayon or spray, just because it's very hard otherwise going in a field full of lambs to know which ones have been tagged and which ones haven't, because the tags are quite hard to see from a distance. These are the shearlings. Some of them haven't lambs, so they're a bit more jumpy.
182 in it.
She's a bit skittish. She's headed off, but she'll come back. So, Mark's on it today. He's going to tag while Tucker does the entries. Tagging each year, EID and non-EID from the turbo tagger there. And a quick mark to show that it's been done so you can see it from afar.
Female.
Look at the female, and that's it then. Back she goes to the mum.
So unfortunately at lambing time, some lambs do die when they've got a perfectly good mother. Don't quite know the reason, but here is an example of a yearling that's lamb has died. So what we're going to do is we will take that lamb, the dead lamb, take its skin off, and here you can see Tucker now doing that. He's skinning the dead one while he's got a live one between his legs, an orphan lamb that we picked up from the field. He will then place the skin onto that lamb and see if the ewe, this particular yearling looks pretty keen, will come back and adopt the orphan lamb. The ewe was there for about 4 minutes before she went off, and then we had to circle round, push her back towards that lamb. You can see the lamb there, alive and well, with its head up with the new skin. And in this case it was great to see the orphan lamb up and sucking the foster yearling ewe within minutes of being paired up. This year we've got a really good stat to share. It's not like every year, but it's been beautiful. The ewes have been in great condition, great nick, and a lot of boxes have been ticked. And out of the 1,500 lambs almost on the ground, only 4 have been assisted. Thanks for watching, guys!